with some more ARP Quadra leads done on software, going through the Three Sides Live album. I don't know how many of you might find this interesting, but I've gotten questions about it before. This is the Me and Sarah Jane, and the bridge, well, I guess it takes place where a bridge would be. I don't know if you've ever noticed Me and Sarah Jane. It's just multiple different sections. It never returns to like a chorus or anything. So this is halfway point of the tune, and there's an arpeggiator played on the ARP Quadra lead section. Now, let me just play it.
First, I will fly me, going round, round, round.
Okay, there's actually two layers to that keyboard sound. Unlike Abacab, which I did in a previous video, instead of two layers done on the Quadra, this is both hands doubling. Left hand is on a Prophet 10, playing an organ sound, organ-ish sound, sweeping the filter with a volume, an expression pedal, and then the right hand is on the Quadra. So look at this. I've got the manual, the original manual for the Quadra, which I've read a lot of. A lot of times, old manuals to old synths are better than the new ones. So if you get a clone, go read the original manual, find the PDF, because you'll learn a lot. So this is a section on the Quadra. These controllers on either side of the keyboard, they have them here. Here, look, here's the dual portamento I was talking about in other videos. And then in this section has the sequencer, which looks like it has up, down, and up and down, which is this, what this is. It's going back and forth. There is a lot going on with the sound. I'm probably never going to nail it. That's kind of not the... I don't think this is one that is that important to lock in. So I'll show you what I do. And actually, I've never done this live. I don't even know what I have, the patch I made for our 1981 shows that we've done, the Genesis show has done in the past. It's just a patch I made in Mainstage. Maybe I'll revisit it with this one. So here is our good old Odyssey. One thing you might notice right away is that this oscillator is tuned down an octave lower than it was, and this one is tuned up an octave higher than it was, giving it a 2-octave spread. And I have the 2-octave up switch engaged. Now, if you're familiar with the Mini Moog, I like that way better as a performance synthesizer. Each oscillator has, you tune the oscillators to each other, and then there's footage switches, you know, like 2 foot, 4 foot, 8 foot, 16 foot, you know, and you can change the octaves pretty easily. This, you have to just grab a slider. However, looking at the Quadra manual, they have interval right. So I think you could hold, you know, maybe that's not related, but I do believe there is an interval memory on the Quadra, which isn't on the Odyssey. So I just save a patch that's like this. Now, I've made a short sound. The higher octave I actually have currently as a square wave. I'll just physically play them. They're both saw right now. By the way, if you have an arpeggiator, you got to play a major 7th chord, because not only is it the first chord in Me and Sarah Jane, but it's the Stranger Things theme. Not only do I like that show, but I'm a high school music teacher, and every kid in my piano class has learned it. And they come in, the first thing they do, like 20 kids playing that. It's great. All right, so you might just want to cycle through it. I mean, does it sound cool with saw as the high note? How about both as square? Nah. We'll get it in the mix and see what we like. Once again, I have the filter cutoff pulled down, and I'm doing the filter and the amp envelope are both set to the ADSR. Look at the ADSR. Tack, sustain, release, all at 0. Decay. Okay, that's a very short sound. If you go into any soft synth that you have and look up in the category, they might have, leads, bass, brass, FX, sequencer. Whether the sequencer or arpeggiator is engaged on that, they're going to be blippy things, so they sound cool with movement and don't get very smeary. So I think the sound is decent, and at least it's representative. Now, I see on this version of the Korg ARP Odyssey, which is not on their hardware version, these are all software perks, there's an arpeggiator. I don't know if this is great if you're it's not really an arpeggiator, it's a 16-step sequencer, which is cool. But if all I want is a simple arpeggiator, there's a forward and backward, but there is no up and down, which is what I need. I'm not even going to go through them because they're not what I need for this song. In fact, maybe you could be clever and program it here with one note. I don't even know. This is overly complicated. I remember my first virtual synth, which was a Korg MS-2000, and I used to play with an original band, and we would just kind of rave up sections, and I would just hit the arpeggiator on and let it run free, and just play chords on it, put a lot of delay on it, and it was cool. I was probably reaching back into my childhood with me and Sarah Jane, because that's kind of what this is. It's a free running arpeggiator, which means that you may think that it's locking in with the band, but if you really listen to this song, it's not playing with the band. In fact, Rutherford, I believe, with his bass, not Rutherford, he's playing guitar, so it's Daryl Sturmer's on bass. Do bo do. Everything he's doing is like a quarter note to keep the band in time, because Tony's arpeggiator is just running free. Same thing with Duke's Travels. When the arpeggiator on the Quadra kicks on there, it's almost in time with the band, but not really. It's more of an effect. So I have the sound on this. Then I thought, well, if this arpeggiator sucks, how about we do one in MIDI FX in Logic? Yeah, it's cool. I was in the wrong octave. I have to transpose my keyboard up. So you really need... I have a feeling we should mix these two oscillators a little bit better. Maybe it's just an octave tuned apart. Maybe it's that.
First I will fly.
Put them back on saw. Whatever it is, you can do whatever you want. I think I'm not going to spend too much time on. I mean, it's really hard because of all the effects washed on it. Here is why I do not like this plugin, this MIDI effects. It has to be synced to tempo, and it's all very even subdivisions. So while if that one isn't great, I can't just bump it up or down. I have to choose another subdivision. It's goofy. I actually think I'm using this when we do it live. I may have done this. Honestly, I probably spent less time on it 3 years ago than I did right now. Right now, maybe I'm overthinking it. But it's only a 1 octave range. For some reason, the variation in Logic version, which is in main stage, by the way, also, I picked 2 because I think 1 replays the outer notes. With that tempo, it kind of works, but I don't think that's the pattern. And I just found this a little too stiff. I mean, we can manipulate the tempo of the project. You can save a patch in main stage that has specific tempo, and then you're getting in all kinds of stuff. So you could do it that way. I'm going to turn it off. But some MIDI controllers, like the little tiny Akai 25 key one that I have on my desk when I'm doing like arranging work and sheet music, you know, at home, this is kind of like a mouse or a regular keyboard to me. It's nice to have here. There's an arpeggiator button. Let's turn it on. Okay, there is an up-down pattern. Is that the default? It's one of those things where you hold down a function key and press a black key or a white key with silk screen printing above it, and it tells you what it is. But it just, the default when I tried this before I hit record is actually the up-down pattern. No fuss, no muss. There's a tap tempo. Right now it's going blink, 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 blink. I don't even know what the subdivisions are at this weird tempo. So I can tap tempo it maybe a little faster. But tap, 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 tap. All right. And with my hardware arpeggiator controlling software, I got it better. To sum up, the Korg arpeggiator is too complex and doesn't have the simple thing that I need. The Mac plugin, MIDI effects plugin, is cool, but it doesn't have a free running mode. I'm sure I have many soft synths. I could tell you, I know for a fact that like the Arturia Mini Moog Mini V has an arpeggiator, and you can latch or unlatch it from the clock, the DAW tempo. So I'm using hardware. I think that's pretty cool. So there's a couple effects going on. One, I believe, is Tony. He kicked on a delay. Maybe that's why there's not a lot of delay on the Quadra leads live. He had one delay, and it was like, this is my Me and Sarah Jane delay. So he kicked it on, you know, set it and forget it. I think I just put like a tape delay in here. I did turn off the tempo sync. I mean, do we really want to dial in the... I don't feel like doing it, do you? Let's not dial in the delay. Let's just put a delay on there. Okay, now, the last effect is there's a panning thing going on. I did not refer to any soundboard tapes. I know there's a couple out there. I think for this tour, there's like Cincinnati and Frankfurt. Isn't that weird that I know that off the top of my head? I mean, I literally drive around town with these on my in my iTunes when I'm doing all the music director part of being in the Genesis show. You know, I listen to all these arrangements. And and some of the board tapes and stereo and radio shows are bootlegged in stereo. And then you go, oh, Tony ran his Leslie in stereo. He ran his chorus pedal in stereo. You don't get that from live albums because they tend to pan things a little differently. But I can hear this on this recent-ish remix of Three Sides Live. I hear the whole keyboard panning. I don't think he has a stereo delay. I think somebody is panning it. Did the sound engineer do it live? Did they do it in mixing? Did they do it in mixing and recreate what they did live? Genesis did do a lot of panning live. They did, if you listen to things like 11th Earl of Mar, whether it was Hackett on the 77 tour or Daryl Sturmer on the 78 tour, they panned those guitar slides in the intro. Ball left, ball right, ball left. It's pretty cool. Can imagine being there, hearing that in a stadium. So I want to recreate the panning. Now, I don't know if you're playing this live. And are you crazy? Why would you play this live? This song it's more fun to listen to than play. But you have to decide, are you going to run stereo? Do you trust your front of house to get this right? So I have here, it's another Logic. It's a tremolo. And I believe it's a stereo one. Oh, slow panning. We can change the speed if we want. That's too slow. Let's again, this is tempo locked, right? That's pretty cool. Hope you're not watching this on your phone and you've got some full range studio monitors. Hear how cool that is. If everything sounds too polite, the delay and the panning, this is fun when you do this with a band. I think this patch is cooler than the one that I have done live. But when you're in the rehearsal room and you have this cranked in the monitors or your amp, everyone in the band's like, yes, this is cool. So I think it'll be a success no matter what you do. So there it is. That is I guess I should save this. Maybe I'll actually use this. Sarah Arpeggiator. I don't want to type ARP because then I might be confusing it with the synthesizer. Okay, so pretty cool. I'm kind of glad I did this. If you made it to the end, wow. You are something else. All right. Talk to you later.